Hello and welcome to Her Empire Builder Show. I'm your host Tina Tower and today I'm here with my best friend Clint. Yay! It has been a while to actually convince him to come on the show, so I'm very glad that he's here. I did say like 5 minutes ago, I didn't have like your professional bio to read, and so I'm going to make it up and I'm probably going to butcher it, but you can correct me where I'm wrong.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, and so Clint has always been amazing.
That's it. Done.
Should be your professional bio. Clint has always been amazing. But from 16 years old, he started his first business, which was a dance studio. I mean, I have a 16-year-old son, like that doesn't happen. So that alone is incredible. But did that, has done some work with Jersey Boys as their manager of something very impressive, has done something to do with dating sites, which is also very impressive, and then started DSOA, which is kind of the big thing that Clint has been known for. It's the big thing that he sold that made him a millionaire. It's been huge. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and the journey today. Welcome, Clint.
Thanks, Tina.
Yay.
I'm excited. I finally said yes.
Do you know, it's so weird. Like, I've got 50 million questions.
Great.
Most of which I know the answer to, but some of them I've actually never been able to ask you like in this way.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
So I'm excited by it.
I'm excited.
Okay, so the earliest memory, like what was your because being 16 and starting a business is odd, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All the right ways, but that's very out of the norm. What was your earliest memory of like being a builder, being a leader? Because obviously a lot preceded that decision to get started so early.
I think for me it's always just been about exploring my curiosity and creativity, and so I'm always just like, I love building, just creating things. And then I could create something in a day and then be done, and then other things 10 years.
And we'll see the pattern with that.
Yes, just like a chronic creator.
Yeah.
I love building things, and every business I've had has just come from that. Like, it hasn't come from, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, it's only been more recently that I feel like I'm wearing a badge of an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
but,
deservedly so.
But I never, that was never the intention.
So everything has started really organically in terms of going, you get that spark of an idea and then you're like, I want to see how I could like have a play with it.
I want to experiment. I want to have a play with it. Okay, am I enjoying it?
Yeah.
I love that. I hate that. Okay, and then there's like the success of it is, okay, it's getting traction.
Yeah.
I like it a little bit more.
Yeah.
We like things when we're winning.
Yes.
And so then that kind of makes the idea go further.
Yeah. But to get it commercial like that early, how did that happen? Like, who helped you?
I think with the dance studio, that model is very proven, right? Yeah. So I went from learning at a dance studio to teaching at a dance studio to then opening a dance studio with my friend. And so there's not a lot to recreate there. Yeah. The business model is people come for dance classes, they pay for dance classes, they keep coming back. Yeah. Term after term, year after year.
And segue, you don't dance.
I mean, I did dance.
Why don't you dance now?
It's so funny.
So I'll let you know. Clint will not dance for me.
I mean, it's very, dancers will understand that when someone says to you like, oh, dance for me, dance. Yes. You're like, no. And even at weddings.
But even naturally, like we'll be out somewhere where was the Vivid boat? And, you know, everyone was dancing on the stage. Everyone was boogieing.
I wouldn't do that.
There was no,
I wouldn't do that. I mean, I dance around in the house, you know, when the music's on and nobody's home. Like, I don't even think Alex has seen me dance, really. Maybe at my cousin's wedding once, and he's like, you weren't really dancing.
Will you dance at my wedding?
Maybe.
Yes, is the answer to that. Yes, is maybe. The answer. Okay, so at what point with DSOA, how far after you opened that, did you move to the US and why?
Oh, so it must have been, so I started coaching in 2013. That's when I was coaching kind of everybody around attracting customers. And then I moved into studio owners, I think around early 2014. Yeah. And then I moved to the US in 2017. So 3 years, kind of 3 years in.
It all grew up very quickly, didn't it?
It did.
Like, it wouldn't feel that way when you're in it. But now
No, it
you're
felt,
like,
no, it definitely felt like the traction was pretty immediate. And I remember doing a lot of one-on-one sessions with clients in Australia, and then was just like over one-on-one, answering the same question. We all know this if we're in this space, the same question over and over again.
Yeah.
And found Brendan Burchard, and he was like, oh, there's this like online course thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like the best thing ever. And then it really took off though when I did move to the US, because I was in the same time zone.
So
like,
were most of your one-on-one clients
in
American?
Australia? No, my one-on-one clients were all Australian.
But by the time you started DSOA, a lot of them were American.
So when I started the online program, Studio Success Formula, that's when I started getting traction in the US. And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of exactly the same. They have the same challenges.
Of course,
Parent issues, student issues, teacher issues, you know, growth challenges. And so with the online, I was like, well, I'm not limited to Australia. I was doing one-on-one. Skype was like there, but it wasn't kind of mainstream in terms of doing one-on-one. So all of mine were one-on-one in person. And then, took it online. And that's when the US started kind of picking up. And I loved New York. I went to New York, and then I was like, maybe I'll come here for 3 months to test it out. Went for 3 months, came back for about 4 months to Sydney. And Mia Michaels, who's a choreographer, I brought her over to Australia to do like a little tour. And she said to me, she was like, I think, had drank a bottle of wine. And she was like, you were so happy in New York those 3 months when I saw you last year. She's like, you should move. And that was February, and then I moved in April.
Yeah, wow.
I was like, you're right. I needed, because when am I, I was like 30.
Yeah.
I was like, when am I going to
be ready for the big lights, the big city?
When am I going to do it again?
And so now, because you're back in Australia, which is great for me.
Yes.
You've been back nearly a year.
We moved, January.
Months.
Yeah.
And so has your happiness, have you found you're happy in Australia again now?
It's great. Yeah. We are having like the best time.
For that stage of your life though, you were like ready for that next big adventure.
I would have really, when people ask about regrets, I don't have many regrets. I would have regretted not living in New York.
Do you think DSOA would have grown in the way it had you not gone there? Yeah.
No, I mean, the time zone thing is a real challenge. I mean, I was doing calls at 11 a.m. I was doing calls like super early in the morning. 11 p.m. early in the morning. I mean, it was...
Yeah, it's hard.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was so rough.
And then you went there and you took over the world.
So I went there and then I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in your time zone.
Yeah, and I think I only really met you, I think just before you left. Or were you already there when I spoke at your conference in the Gold Coast? Because I think that was the first time we'd met, right?
I think met in person, yes.
Yeah.
And was I...
Incredibly good looking? Yes.
I don't remember if I'd moved at that point, because I was coming back twice a year.
To run events.
To run the Australian kind of cohort.
Yeah.
Our retreats.
Yeah.
Until I stopped that in 2019, just before COVID. Obviously didn't know about COVID.
Good timing though.
But it was like,
yeah,
we're ending this, because it was growing so much in the US.
Yeah, it was definitely the place to be.
It didn't make sense to keep coming back for those retreats.
So as you grew, because then, like you said, you started, and everything that I know you've started since is because of this creativity, because you like to have a play, because you like to see how far you can go with different things.
Yes.
When it started to like get bigger though, and you were like, all right, this is now like a serious business. This is adding some dollars. What values did you hold the whole way through, and what ones did you have to let go of as it started to change shape?
I mean, the main thing for me has always been around the customer experience, like always delivering. I am very passionate around delivering a spectacular experience for the people that give us money.
Yeah.
And the innovation around that. Yeah. I think I was talking to a member recently when I was in New York, and she was like, oh, you guys innovate, like you just innovated so much. Like when you had the business, you always like doing new things, testing new things, bringing new things to us as members. And so like that is always at the core.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've got to be having a good time.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun.
And so then you scaled it and sold it.
Yeah, scaled it and sold it.
What was the decision? Did you stop having a good time? Like, what was the decision to sell it?
Yeah, so I think during COVID, you know, in 2020, that was our business grew incredibly well during COVID because everyone was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And I said to the team, like, guys, this is our time.
It's our time to serve,
Really, and I had pulled myself out of the business quite a bit before COVID, and I like dove back in daily sessions, like with our coaches, with our team, like everyone was like, okay, let's jump on this journey. And it was tough to maintain that because what I thought was going to be a couple of weeks, as we know,
it's like 2 years.
Was months,
and
then it was years.
Yeah.
And that impact on our, you know, for me, the impact on my nervous system, on my health, the stress level, if, you know, being on these calls and people are crying and like it's their livelihood. And I felt a lot of responsibility during that time.
I relate to that,
And I think after getting out of COVID and pulling myself out again, and I was like, I don't know, I'd always had something in my mind that I wanted to be out of that business by the time I was 40.
Yeah.
And so when I knew 40 was coming in a couple of years, I was just conscious of like, I think now is a good time. I still have a few more years to transition.
Yeah.
I can stay with the company. I can bring in a new CEO. I can transition. I wanted to make sure we had the right buyer, that our members were well looked after, that our team was well looked after. And I was like, yeah, I can do this for a couple more years. And so I started kind of exploring, okay, who would be a great fit to keep DSOA alive, because it is too important in people's lives for it to just fall apart under a new owner. Because people are like, oh, you know, you could have kept it. And I was like, no, but I like inside.
It's the mental load as well.
It's the mental capacity. Like my physical work was maybe 10 contact hours a week. But I was thinking about it
all the
oh my
time.
goodness.
Yes.
On my walk, when I'm sleeping, when I'm reading a book, when I'm watching TV, and I'm like, oh, that's a great thing. Oh, we should do that. Oh, how's that member going with that thing?
Yes.
Oh, that team member that said that. You just never switch off. And I do love that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to think about something else.
Yes. And so traditionally businesses like ours can be difficult to sell.
So hard.
Because you built it on your personal brand. I mean, you always had it as DSOA, which we haven't said is Dance Studio Owners Association.
Yeah.
But you always had it at that. But it was very Clint driven at the beginning.
The beginning it was like my face. I mean, it was Clint Salter. And then it was Studio Success Formula, which was the name of our program. Then it was DSOA.
Yeah.
So it kind of went through very quickly, literally was every year, for 3 years.
To set up for
it
this.
Evolved, unintentionally setting it up for it.
Yes.
But because I didn't think about selling until we first got approached, I think 4 or 5 years into the business, when someone was like, hey, are you interested? And that happened 2 more times. So 3 times we were approached before I actually was like, okay, I'm going to sell.
Yeah.
In different, whether that was a merger or it was an acquisition or it was a bolt, you know, and I was never ready, because you know, sometimes I was like, no, there's more. I've got like, my energy is so high with this business.
Yeah.
There's more to do. There's more I want to achieve. I'm still enjoying it. I feel creative. And then towards, you know, year 7.5, year 8, I was like, yeah, this is good. I can do this in my sleep. I'm like ready for a new challenge.
Something new to create.
Yeah.
So what do you think were the things that, because I know when I started Her Empire Builder as well, I had people say to me like, you know, you've got an unsellable business now, because my previous business was but even I think my previous business was very built by me. It was a very key person risk when I left that.
Yeah.
And so I've always ran this knowing that I'm not necessarily building something saleable. I still try and do it as little Tina-centric as possible and make it not the Tina show, but it always has that element pushed in there.
Yeah.
So what strategic things did you do that made it sellable?
So the first thing we did was to build a faculty of coaches.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing. And I think the thing that was different is that we have our IP, our intellectual property, we have our curriculum, we have our systems and processes that we teach our members. And so we train the coaches on teaching our IP. So the IP is the celebrity, not the talent.
Yeah.
So our coaches were great, but they would teach the 11-step enrollment process.
Yeah,
they
you're
would
very
teach
good
the
on
6-week onboard. Yes, I love frameworks. Only because I find personally when I'm learning, I find things really challenging to understand if I can't see it.
Yeah.
And that's easier for me to comprehend.
Yeah.
So that's how I built our curriculum inside of DSOA. And so the coaches were teaching that IP, and then we brought in other coaches and we brought in captains, which were kind of our cheerleaders for our members. And so I built out the bench. And my goal was like, how do we be the Avengers of like dance studio owners and not have this like main character dancing bear person, which was me for the first couple of years. And so that was important. And then the second really important piece was a leadership team. Like, how do I build a team that can act independently, that can make decisions?
Was that the hardest part?
Yeah. Oh, completely. I mean, talk to anyone, and everyone will tell you the same.
I completely know the answer.
The same thing was team was always the most challenging piece of the business.
Yeah.
And as I built, it got easier once the leadership team were in place, because I actually really enjoyed working with them.
Nice.
Because I didn't have to deal with all of the stuff that went on in their departments.
Yeah.
Like they could come to me and say, I'm really struggling with this person, or these people have conflict, and I could advise them essentially as a consultant on like, okay, here are some things to think through, and then I could forget about it until I saw them a week later and we had a conversation. But getting to that point is like really tough.
Yes.
And I think that's where most people just stop.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's where I stopped.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you're
started
just
building
like,
out my team, and I was like, do I really want it this bad?
Yeah.
Like, because it's a conscious decision you have to make when you're going through that messy middle part in growing from like a 7-figure business into a multi-7-figure business. You need to start bringing in team and doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get to and then go, it's either worth it or
it's not. Yeah. And that 1 to 3 million is really where all the mess is.
Yeah.
And people, you know.
I mean, I love sitting right there.
Oh, and it's
my favorite spot.
It's a great, I mean, it's such a great place if you're very clear on what you want.
Yeah.
But if you've got a desire to get to $5, $7, $10 million, like it's a real battle.
Yes.
And then when you get to about 5, like that's when it's like, okay, like it's easier.
Yeah.
Because you have the infrastructure. But also at 1 to 3 million, you don't have probably a huge amount of money to pay a lot of money to leadership.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, like they're going to take 150 or 200K out of each of them, you know, out of my bucket of profit.
Yeah.
And that's a really good test to be like, okay, so do I just want to optimize for profit?
Yeah.
And kind of
or you just sprint.
Or you're like, okay, I'm in for a couple of years of a lot of pain.
Yes. Yeah. So the sale, you had a very successful exit.
It was great.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
A lot of people look at it and just see like the very glamorous sides. Like as a business owner, what a dream. Build something like out of just nothing but an idea in your head. Everything worked well because all we're seeing is the front end.
Oh, yeah.
All went beautifully, and then sale, done, bathe in your money, like all of that happened.
Play golf, no.
Yes, all of that. But
yes.
you would have like what were the more unglamorous parts of the sale process?
Yeah.
And did you grieve it a little?
Oh my goodness, so much. I think it's really interesting because when you think about a sale, there is that initial excitement. And for me, this business had to set me up financially. I had to be financially free from this sale. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sold it.
Yeah.
That was my goal with this company. And when I started thinking about, you know, selling when those people were approaching me, like that was the first thing that came up for me. Is like, okay, if I was going to sell it, like I don't know what else I would do at this point. Like it needs to set me up for the rest of my life. So that was important. But once you get over the excitement of it, then, and you get into, you know, we had a couple of people that were interested in this kind of last go round when I did sell it. And you start, as you go through diligence, which can be very challenging, diligence, because someone's pulling apart your business.
I've never felt so naked and exposed with people looking at every line item of everything that I've ever spent and going, why this? Why that? Why did you make this decision? Why did you do that? And just going, oh, I did the best I could. I don't know.
Yeah, diligence was, I feel very lucky with our diligence process because the company that ran diligence were really fantastic and I learned a lot. I asked them a lot of questions. Because part of the sale as well was like, we're going to be acquired by this large company. They have a lot of different companies, lots of staff. Like, how are they running such a big business? And I was so curious and excited to get into that world to just see how does it work at this level. So diligence was, there was sometimes I was frustrated with diligence around people not understanding our business and like, no, but you're asking the wrong questions.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's important. And they got it, and I learned a lot through that, and it was quick. Like, our diligence was really, really quick. I think it was like initial email to close was like 2 and a bit months.
Yeah, that was the same with mine.
Yeah. It was, and I've had friends that have been like in it for like a year.
Yeah, we were end of March and then we settled in June.
Yeah. So it's, but going so quickly is fantastic because you kind of get everything. But then it ends
and you're like,
yes. And so
it's like whiplash.
It is whiplash. And I remember the day that, the money was transferred and we had the call, like, it's done, we signed.
Did you screenshot the bank when your money was transferred?
Yes, I did. I've had different screenshotting of money during my, during
I've got the
during
screenshot
my
of the
journey.
biggest day that I ever had. I have the screenshot of the first check when I sold the first franchise. Banked. Yeah, it's good.
It is good. And that day I remember going for my walk before we had the call. The call I think was at 9 a.m. or something, and I was walking and I literally cried like for 2 hours on my whole walk. And it was like, I can't believe I've done this in a good way.
It's like a release.
Right? Yes, it definitely was oh my goodness, it's done. Anticipation. Now I have to tell the team. Okay, now we have to tell the members. I felt really good about the people that had acquired us.
Yeah.
So that was important.
You can do it with confidence.
Oh, yes, and I felt good about, I'm going to be very authentic around this because this company is great. They work with studio owners with their software already. Yeah. Like it felt like such a great marriage that I felt really good about that. But I was also like had apprehension around how are they going to react? I wanted to look after the team. I did the best job I could in negotiating great things for them as the business moved forward. But like, are they going to be happy? I mean, this is scary. Because you're going into a corporate environment and people that work for entrepreneurs like working for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And like not having all the
really
red tape and there's a lot of flexibility. And so we had great flexibility with the new company as well, but different. Yeah. But different. Yeah. So grief. And
you had a 2-year earn out?
I stayed for just over 2 years. Yeah. And people said to me, a couple of people that had sold their companies had said to me, look, the money that you get when you sell the business up front, like that, pretend you're not getting any other money. Like that is.
Was that me?
That is, I think it might have been you, Mike. Yeah. There was another, I think there was a few people that said, yes, I think you're one of them. That's like, hey, make sure that.
I mean, the biggest mistake I made when I sold mine was I had one company that offered about $1 million more upfront, but I took less because I had the potential of earning more throughout my 2 years, but I ended up getting a lot less than what the initial offer was because I didn't realize that like someone's job was to try and lower the amount that the company had to pay to acquire my company.
Right. And I think, so a few people had talked to me about kind of the staying on process and like if there was any earnouts or anything.
You enjoyed yours a lot more than I did mine.
I was really lucky, and I think that I stayed during the entire period. My goal was, make sure we have a great CEO, transition the team as well as I could, be as helpful to the new company as I could to like get them understanding what DSOA is, how it operates, what's important to the business to thrive. Yeah. And I think there was probably about, if you'd asked Alex, my partner, there was probably maybe 5 times during those 2 and a bit years where I was frustrated and annoyed.
Which probably would have happened if you owned it.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
A lot more. If I still owned it, it would have been a lot more. And so, there was those times where I was, frustrated and annoyed. There was also times where I was, I think twice, and it was after 2 retreats, that I was like, should I have kept this business?
Because you always love it the most after the retreats.
Oh my
because you're so connected to people, you can see the impact.
Yes.
That's what I think is sometimes like across the Zoom screen, you're doing your thing, you're teaching, and then you're off, and you don't realize, like, no one says to you, I implemented this and it was amazing, thank you. You just don't see it. But when you're at live events, like you can see, you're like,
you can see it.
I can see someone a year ago that now they're standing so much taller and confident and they're just killing it, and it makes you love it. Yeah.
It's like, and I remember one of our members, came up to me at the retreat in January where I had that feeling afterwards, and she's like, I listened to a call that you had. I can't even remember what it was, but she ended up leaving her partner, just not a great relationship, and she was crying and just like, this has really changed my life. And I was like,
it's worth it.
Can't get that through Zoom.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Or the hug.
Yeah.
The hugging, the hanging out, the seeing the team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so magical.
Yeah.
I had a private client recently, and it was funny because she was going into her retreat not looking forward to it. And she texted me after and she was like, I love these people. This was the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said to her, I was like, this is completely normal.
Yeah.
Don't make any decisions on anything.
Yeah. Give yourself a month
for the next couple of days, because then I would kind of come back to earth.
Yeah, it does.
And things stabilize again.
Yes.
So there was a couple of times that I had question, like, did I make the right decision?
Yeah. And then you finished, and then literally, I think like 2 days before you officially finished, you came back to Australia.
So I finished on the 31st of December, and we flew out the 31st of December.
Yeah, wow.
So I finished, finished that day at 5 o'clock or whatever, and I think our first flight was around 6 or 7 or something to come over to Australia.
Yeah. And so what made you decide to come back?
Alex and I had talked about coming back to Australia for a few years, and it was always a when, not an if.
Yeah.
But the when could have been when we were 60. Like we had talked about, let's retire, in Australia. It's a great place to retire because it's kind of.
So you did live in Florida, which is like retiree capital.
Right? Yes. Not so much Miami, but there are parts of Florida that's very retiree prevalent. And so it was New Year's Eve in 2023.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting for Komodo, our favorite Chinese restaurant. And we just like, should we spend the year in Australia in 2025? And we were like, yeah. Let's do it. The hard thing is we couldn't come for a couple of months because we have Annie, we have our dog, and like bringing her over is we started the process in February.
Yeah.
So it's nearly a year process to kind of work out getting her over to Australia. And so we wanted to commit to okay, let's do a year and see how we go.
And also Tina lives here.
Such
a draw card.
I mean, it has been so wonderful kind of being back in community.
Yeah.
And I think that we were missing that because when we moved, so from New York, we moved to Miami. And Alex's parents were in Miami, some family, but then COVID happened. And so we didn't get to build any real community in Miami until a couple of years in.
Yeah.
And then we sold our place, we moved because we knew we were coming over to Australia. And so it's nice to kind of come back and have family and friends.
And it's not a year experiment, right? You're not going anywhere now.
No, we don't plan on going anywhere.
What?
This is our, and we love the US, and I can see us still spending some time over there. Alex's family is there.
I mean, I have tried as much pressure as possible to get you to acquire a house in Palm Springs.
Yes, I mean a lot. You have sent me a lot of reels and yes, a lot of IG messages with amazing properties you love in Palm Springs. My love for Palm Springs is
Does
nowhere.
not match. I need to take you again. I need to take you again.
Yours.
The last trip we had there was not. I didn't get to show you the best
No,
of it.
nothing. I mean, I came, I spoke, and I left.
Yeah. Don't judge Palm Springs like that.
Yes.
Like, we'll go.
Okay.
Then you can judge.
We'll put it in the calendar.
Yeah, we'll do it. So the exit method is something you've been kind of toying with lately.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I sold DSOA, I had been thinking, so when I announced that I sold it, a lot of people reached out, especially in the space, the online education space of like, can I have a call with you? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, because I love sharing.
Yeah.
So I started sharing and I was like, oh, there might be something here.
Yeah.
But I definitely wasn't ready to like go into something that soon. And I also had DSOA and my focus was like, let's make sure DSOA thrives for this next chapter of its life. And I just started building some stuff around it, some intellectual property.
Back to this whole create thing and then see if you want to play with it.
And then see. And it is, I've created a lot of stuff in the last couple of years. And
while you were supposed to be off,
I mean,
like, did you have parameters around when you arrived in Australia 9 months ago?
Yes.
Did you have parameters around, all right, I'm not going to let myself do these certain things?
So a couple of things I kind of loosely, I would say, put in place, which was like, I don't want to jump into something full-time.
Yes.
Like, that was really important. And so I don't want a full-time job. I don't want a full-time business. I don't want to manage staff. I wanted to lower my responsibility.
Yeah.
That was my goal, lower my responsibility. And so I feel like I did so far, I've done okay with that. But then I've definitely looked in a lot of, like, I've looked at businesses to buy. I've looked at so many random businesses. I mean, one of my like favorite hobbies.
Can we mention a couple of those?
Oh yeah,
like there was the sandwich shop.
There was a sandwich shop idea which was
a great idea.
Which was a great idea. I've like always not wanted to be in food and beverage because the margins are so terrible and staffing is a challenge at the moment. But there was an idea.
For anyone watching the video right now,
hi.
My dogs are just
Holly.
Like walking all in front of us.
She's the best. We love the dogs. So the sandwich shop with a friend, which was really kitschy and interesting kind of concept. I looked at buying a number of kind of cafes that had a kitchen that kind of supplied all the cafes with the food, and I thought there was interesting kind of wholesale opportunity. Yes, I thought there was great opportunity there. Dog kind of grooming daycare.
The doggy daycare
I've looked at. I looked at a site to kind of run that near where I live. So many more though. Like literally my hobby is looking at businesses to buy.
All the possible futures.
Futures.
What do you think it will take for you to go this and run? Like, are you waiting for that like undeniable spark of inspiration?
I'm waiting for, firstly, a business that can run. Like, I don't want to be an operator again. So I don't want to be like in the thick of.
Which I also think would be really difficult for you discipline-wise to not be. Like when we've been talking about the doggy daycare, for example, you in Miami had Annie in the most spectacular place. And even like I get all the dog Instagram reels, right? And the other day, like I saw one and the dogs are coming in and they're all there like clapping the dogs in one at a time. Like it's just beautiful. And I find it really hard to believe that you could own it without going in and going, you know what, we just need to change this.
Right, yes, I know. I like the idea of like...
some new systems here and let me train you on how to do it properly.
I know. I think you're definitely right. I think it's probably just not the right time. I feel like I haven't had enough time or I haven't found the right thing.
Yeah.
So if I find the thing that like I'm like obsessed by...
Yes, you'll know.
I will know.
Yeah.
And that hasn't presented itself.
Yeah.
Yes. So lots of random stuff. But yeah, I do diligence on these businesses. Yeah. I talk to the brokers. I have calls with brokers. Yeah. Also because it's good for working with clients around exiting. And I, looked at a business recently which was pretty looked great on paper, great profit, great revenue, but major key man risk with a husband and wife team, working 70, 80 hours a week each, no leadership team, like high turnover of staff.
Yeah, not pretty.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
It didn't excite me enough to be like, I can make this work.
Yes. Okay, my next question. When at any point in your journey did you feel like I've made it?
With the sale of DSOA,
You could have felt that before that though, right?
But it's at different levels. With the sale of DSOA, like financially, I felt like I had made it, right? I'd hit my number. I was like, okay, I'm good. If I never worked a day again, I'm okay, right? I have enough money for us to live we don't live a big kind of expensive life. We do travel. But
Travel
and shows, yes.
And you don't cook a salad in your kitchen, you order one
Order
in.
food. So yes, that's where we do spend money. But
there's like these Hamish and Andy shirts that Matt tells me about. And so there's two shirts. One is In Touch with the Common Man and one is Lost Touch with the Common Man. I think you saying you don't live a big life is lost touch with the common man. Because often I will say things that I think are very normal because of the people that we are around all the time. It's normal in our minds, whereas it's lost touch with the common man.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Just to point that out.
Yes, I will take that.
But you don't, like what you're saying is you're not wildly extravagant with things, definitely, with consumption, definitely. Like you do live a really beautiful, simple life.
Yes.
With your shows every week that Clint goes to
all the shows.
Every single wonderful concert that's there, you're there.
Yes. All the shows, all the concerts.
Yeah.
Because that, like for me, memory, those memories and those experiences are so
Well, still being in the Maldives with Delta was one of my best weeks of my life.
Yeah. I mean, those experiences are so good.
It's incredible. Yeah. Ruby is... Anyone watching this on the video just has Ruby blocking the whole camera with her butt right now.
We love Ruby.
So other than the sale, what was your greatest triumph in business? What was the moment where you had that yes?
I would say the dance competition that I ran. So when I started Dance Life Unite, the dance competition model was really broken. It was very competitive. Yeah. People didn't talk, studios didn't talk to each other. It was quiet in the hall, stop talking. Yeah. They were in school halls that had no AC, that were dirty, the floors were dusty.
Yeah.
It wasn't an elevated experience. And so when I created Dance Life Unite, the competition, I had the word unite because I was I want it to feel more like a community that supports each other. And I remember I was calling the show, I was side stage, and one group came off, the other group came on, they were high-fiving each other, they were saying, good luck, you'll be amazing. And I was oh wow, this is really special. I'm really proud of that business.
Yeah.
And I still think about it a lot, that experience.
I love those moments. Those moments, to me, the early days, the first couple of years of something new, you have so many moments where it's can I do this? Can I not? Is it going to come off? And then you're yes! That's what's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got the most ridiculous question there. I'm not going to ask that one. Okay, so another thing, I didn't bring this up when you were just talking about the random things of the year that you have done this year is write an entire novel.
Yes.
8 Wishes, is not just someone wrote a novel. It's brilliant. And I'm not just saying that because I love you.
Right.
It is a brilliant book. I cried most of the way through it.
Yes, you sent me a lot of texts as you were going through the book.
Because I was because I'm when you write something, you wonder, will it actually hit the way that I want it to hit? Will it land with people? Will it affect them? And so I wanted to show, I did send Clint every hour. I read it all in a day. I think it took me about 7 hours. And probably several times every hour was I said that. Said that to him. But why?
It's interesting. So in 22, after selling the business, I wanted to get back into my creative state.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd really shifted into CEO, and I was like hard, fast, push, like had just lost touch with my creativity and my intuition, and I wanted to feel
AI
softer.
is making nearly everyone feel like that now, no matter what.
Yeah, softer, calmer. I wanted to tap more into internally kind of what was going on and what I wanted. And I'd written 2 nonfiction, you know, dance studio books.
Yeah.
But if a novel is like so different.
Yeah.
And so I had an idea for one book, and then I've got an idea for this other book, which is 8 Wishes. And for 3 months, I just like would take notes in my phone of scenes. I see everything very visually. It's like a movie. And so I'd see MSM, which is the main character, you know, in her apartment with Jasper, her partner, and I'd see them out to dinner. And so I just started kind of jotting down scenes as I was like going for my morning walk. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this. And so I got a couple of editors. I got some help of just like, what does this need to look like? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to ramble, you know, for 90,000 words. How developed do the characters need to be? What is the arc of the story? I read Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is a great book around just creating beats. Like, how does a novel have to kind of flow? I did some courses. Like I said, I engaged some people to help me kind of like make sure it was like viable. But I wanted
not
to
surprising at all. Like, I think a good part to point out here is you didn't think, I want to write a novel, I've got these ideas, and like sit by the lake and just type something out.
No.
You looked at it the way you look at everything really, is going, how can I do this the best way I possibly can? How can I bring in the coaches to help me? What's the right structure to make this like a 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I treated it like a business. It was like this
Even
creative
what was supposed
endeavor.
to be your creative, like, cathartic thing, you were like, it must be fantastic.
Yeah, and I wanted it to be good. I wanted to learn.
Oh, can we
as
just
well.
also say for anyone who's maybe looking up your book, Clint Salter is not the author.
No, so it's Cass Caldecott.
Yeah, we'll link it in the show notes so
name,
that you have that there.
Is the pen name for the story.
And why did you choose to do that instead of Clint? Was it because you were still looking at writing the excerpt method?
Yeah, I just wanted them to be separate.
Yeah.
Like I fantasized about like having an author life, and then after kind of writing it for 2 years, and just seeing the shift in the industry.
So many people I know are like, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Wouldn't it be wonderful?
Yes.
But I was like, I've like done the book. I have like a couple of other ideas that I might develop.
There was one that I read like the first chapter.
You read, so that was Lies Under Lights.
It was in like a PR sort of
It was
thing.
in like a celebrity agency, Lies Under Lights.
That was like when you turn the page like with vigor. I was like, ooh, next, ooh.
Yeah,
next.
so I wrote chapter 1 of that first, actually, before 8 Wishes.
Can you finish that one?
I might finish that one. I actually thought about it last week again around just some changes with the story.
Because now you know how to write a good book.
Yeah, I mean, but as every author says, and I've listened to a lot of author interviews, you know, as I was doing 8 Wishes, is it doesn't get easier and it feels kind of different every time.
Yeah, okay.
And so I'm excited. Yeah, it's not like I never will write another book.
I'm just seeing where the world takes you.
Yeah, but I've done the book now.
The one thing that I think you did do in a very un-Clint way was the launch of the book.
Yes.
Can you talk about what you did and why you made those decisions?
Yes.
Because it was very difficult for me.
And everyone else as well.
Going, why are you doing this? Because you'd put so much effort into it. But it's also I wonder if it's because you've got, you know, a lot of, I think a big change that happens in the situation you're in, and correct me if I'm wrong, to where it was 5 years ago, is you've lost all your proof energy. Like you no longer feel like you need to prove anything to anyone. And it was like for you, the mountain was writing the book and publishing it. It wasn't, can I get it as an Amazon bestseller? Like that wasn't part of your picture of success. It was like you wanted to get it out there. But I found it so interesting that you had put all this effort into making what is a very objectively fantastic book. Anything that can move you emotionally like that, make you laugh, make you cry, and it's a beautiful human-based story.
Yeah, yeah.
But then to go,
and here it is.
I'll just put it on there, and if people buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things to that. I think the first thing was I don't know, I felt like, yeah, like you said, the reward was like in the journey of like learning how to put a fiction novel together. Like that's where I found the most joy and frustration and all the other emotions. But that was the...
Yeah. But even, like, I know probably my favorite part of writing the books that I have written is when you get that box and you cut it open and you bring it out and it smells like a book, and you've got like this book that you wrote in your hot little hands, and you're like, I did this, and you can flick through it and it's like there, it's real. But you didn't even get the book printed
originally, but it is coming out next week everywhere. So
by the time this episode is here, we can have the printed book.
You can have the printed book. You can buy it anywhere, online where you get your books from. And so I just put it on Amazon Kindle exclusive for 3 months to just... I wanted to like get a pulse on it.
Yeah.
Of, it had gone through maybe 30 or 40 beta readers had read it and given me feedback as we'd gone through the edits on the book. Yeah. So I felt pretty confident about like it's in good shape.
Yeah.
And I think also I was like kind of tired of it. I think after 2 and a bit years, I was like, I just want it out there for a bit, and I want to not think about it for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then, a month ago, I was like, okay, now I'm going to get ready to publish it wide, so in all the places. Has a new cover. We're going to do some Amazon ads. I mean, I haven't committed too much, but...
You want to have a play.
But I want to have a play with the marketing of it now. Yeah. And my goal is at the end of the year, I'm going to close the chapter on 8 Wishes and keep doing all the other random stuff that I've been doing.
You have done a lot of random stuff.
So much random stuff this year.
But you've also done a lot of resting in between as well.
So much resting.
And I think a lot of your life, like right back from when you're a teenager, a lot of what you've put time and effort and energy into has been very purpose driven.
Yes.
How have you viewed, like, has your kind of relationship with purpose differed since you sold and now you're dabbling in these different things? Or what does, if you look at the last year, what is like the theme of that defined?
The theme has definitely been rest, for sure. I wanted to rest without guilt.
But still part of your resting, I'll just have everyone know, you do 2-hour walks a day.
Right.
I'm like,
when it's not pouring rain.
Tell me you're retired without telling me you're retired. Like, that's glorious.
And brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
Like, the days I'm most happy, I'm doing my 2-hour walks. Yeah. The weather is perfect.
But you're not meandering. You're at pace. I was nearly jogging when I walked.
Right, when we went for a walk.
You're like, I'll take it really slow. And you're like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, nee.
I know. It's yes, and that's like when I walk with Alex, he's like, babe, like...
Slow down.
We're going to dinner. He's like, we're going to dinner. And I was like, I'm just so in the motions.
Like, joining... So our mutual friend, Omar Zenhome, he just competed in like... I'm sorry, Omar, if you're listening to this, like I'm not sure what it is called, but it's like the Olympics for over 40s.
Yeah, it's like the old people's Olympics.
You said it, not me. And so... He did that and he played basketball in Switzerland, but it's something that happens like every year.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be an Olympian. I want to stand on that dais. I want to win a gold medal. I want to sing the national anthem. I think that would be amazing. What about we train and do that and you could be like a speed walker?
No,
You've got massive calves.
The amount of people that have said that, and I'm like, I am not turning my walking into...
Oh, because it's your favorite
a business.
Yeah, okay.
Essentially. So
we'll continue this conversation later.
Yes.
Maybe you could do something else.
I just want to walk.
So the theme of the year, when you've been so driven by your purpose.
Yes. So
has
the purpose.
Has it felt like have you had that feeling of where you don't know each day? Like what your thing is? Like
for sure. I've had moments of like, this is like really good.
Yeah.
I like my life of 4 hours of walking and then lunch, deciding what we're going to eat for lunch and
Love that
deciding
for you.
what we're going to eat for dinner, and doing a bit of work, doing some coaching, doing some writing. That's been some of my most happiest days. And when I sit on the couch with my blanket and my 10 pillows and my cushions, and I'm just like, and Annie's there and Alex is there and we're watching our favorite show, I'm like, oh, this is a really good, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
And then there are days where I question my existence and why I'm on the planet. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Oh my goodness, I'm not living into my potential. What is my potential? Is it okay? The thoughts are endless. And I went to Reiki this week. I've been going to Reiki a lot, but I went to Reiki this week, and what I was asking for was some clarity around how I'm moving forward, but also like contentment. Because internally in my intuition is like, you're in a good place. You don't, like you said,
Don't need anything else.
You don't need anything else. You don't need to build another thing right now. Big things. Still love building things, but you don't need to build a big thing.
But it's like in you.
It is, but I question, like, there is something in me, right? But one of the things I was really conscious of when I sold DSOA was to like leave mastermind groups that I'm in, stop listening to a lot of podcasts that I was listening to, when I was growing and building DSOA, because a lot of that is such pushing energy.
And it makes you feel like you should be doing more than what you are.
Yes. Yeah. And it's very easy for you to be a person based on what is in your environment.
Yeah.
And if I'm listening to these people in podcasts talk about growing your next business and $10 million and 20 million and AI and start a new AI business and like we've done this and we're doing that, and it's very easy to get caught up in that. And I think what we don't allow ourselves to do as business owners, and I hadn't, was, okay, if I get rid of all the noise, what feels like the best thing for me, and what do I really want?
Which is not a simple question.
No, it's a very hard question.
And it can change week by week.
And it does change.
Which is why you've done so many things.
Which is why I'm like, candle making. No, I didn't do that, actually. Not candle. Pottery. I did the pottery. Yeah. I did the glass blowing. I did a psychic development core, workshop.
I mean, that would have been interesting, though.
So fun. Yeah. And really, the beautiful lesson around a psychic development workshop is you got to be okay being wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like, as you're kind of tapping into your intuition, and you're, one of the exercises was, you're closing your eyes and you're holding different color ribbons in your hand and you're saying like, what color is the ribbon that you've got? And you've got to like tap into, okay, what is the color of the ribbon? And like most of the time you're wrong. It's like, you're like, it's green. Oh, it's red.
Oh, yeah.
There's a picture, she put a picture up on the wall and turned it around, so we didn't know what the picture was, and she gave us coordinates of like, here is this location, and we had to like tune into like, where is
right up your alley.
Because I'm terrible at directions. Where is this place? And then you're reading people's pieces of jewelry, like. Yeah. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, oh, I can't work my way into getting the right answer.
Yeah.
And so I really loved, as I got into the day, I was like, oh, this feels good.
So your nervous system would now operate very differently than it did 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Is there something that you believed during your hustle years that you've now completely changed your mind about?
Probably the amount of pushing that is required for a level of success.
Yeah.
Because I was very, go, 24/7, more work, more work, better results, bigger results, more work. It was like a loop. It was just a cycle. And when I got to those last couple of years of DSOA, I was like, okay, like I'm starting to feel like there is another way. And then going through the sale and the integration with the new company, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there is. But it's hard because that's 37 years of operating a certain way, of not stopping, literally, like
I don't know what you're talking about, Clint.
I'm sure a lot of people listening can completely identify.
But I think it's something that you don't actually realize until you've got the privilege of being on the other side of that.
Yes.
And then you go, oh, I never had to do that. But when you're in it, it feels like so essential.
But actually, I think it is essential though. Like, I think it is actually
I have no
really
doubt. I don't think
essential.
I would have built the business that I have without that hustle, without sacrificing a lot of things.
Yep.
I mean, I know you and I both sacrificed our health at different times in order to do things. Like, that went way down, but you're making up with that now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I think, I valued my family greatly. I was married really young. I had my kids really young. Valued that. Valued the performance of the business. Everything else fell off.
Yeah.
I had no time for friends. I had no time for, like, vacations that weren't work related. Like, everything else drops off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is essential.
Yeah.
When I listen to, people in their 20s now that want work-life balance and earn $1 million a year, I'm like, oh, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Yes.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Like, your 20s and 30s are for working.
Yeah. But it's also not sustainable.
No, it's not. And and your body will tell you that.
Yes.
And that's when and it's such a journey. That's when life gives you the lessons.
How do you view the way Alex Hormozi works?
I mean, first of all, I have great admiration for Alex.
Yeah.
I think he's also, like, such a great guy. He presented quite a few times at a group that I was in. And I got to connect with him because he had gyms, I had dance studios, so similar. And such a generous human being. And even when I was thinking of, this was like maybe 20, end of 22, early 23, I reached out to him because I was thinking about, what does a roll-up of dance studios look like? Yeah. Like, that would make pretty good sense for me to go into something like this. And I reached out to him and he responded, and he gave me some really valuable insight and wisdom around why he didn't do it with gyms. But his life is not the life that I want. And I think that it's really, again, going back to who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a lot of people that have those values and work ethic, really, you'll probably want to match it.
I mean, like, practically, that's been very difficult for me this year, because I talk to you all day, every day, and here, as I'm, like, at my desk going, go Tina, go, like, let's go faster, we've got to get through our to-do list, and you're like, I'm about to go on my second walk for the day, and then one of my other really great mates, Kirsty Dunphy, she sold her business back in April, May, and so she's actually today, right as we're speaking, she's pitching her book to the publishers. Like, she's traveling so much doing all of this, and I'm like, oh, well, this is harder.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So proximity is
everything.
My mentality is going the opposite of Hormozi style.
Right. But I think it's also good to just get to your truth as well.
Yeah.
Of, like...
if I'm being very honest, my workload that I have right now is my favorite I've ever had. Where I do work a lot. Like, I work Monday to Thursday pretty solid. I take about 2-3 months of the year off, spread out across different holidays, which I love. But if I don't want to, I wouldn't have to.
Right.
And I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that optionality isn't there.
Yeah.
When you have big team, responsibility, lots of customers.
Yes, which is why we wound that back.
Yeah, because when you build a machine, there's not that freedom and flexibility.
Yeah. So with I've heard you call it, this is your sabbatical a few times, but it's
is it micro-retire? I mean, my most hated question is, so what do you do? Or on the, coming back into the Australia, like, what is your occupation?
Oh, yeah. I always put author on my incoming passenger card.
I just put consultant now. But I when we were looking for a house to get in Sydney, the real estate agents, so what do you guys do?
Yeah.
And it's like, nothing.
We are both unemployed.
Nothing at the moment. Like, aren't we great tenants? Like, we're both unemployed.
So would you have to show them like your bank statement?
Oh, yes. So I have to, because they're like, wait, how old are you? What?
Yeah.
Because they're like, one
that
woman.
would kind of be a bit of a fun moment though.
It's also uncomfortable. Like, it is fun, but I feel uncomfortable. And when we move to this new place and we're meeting all the new neighbours, I have to go through it again.
Yeah, what do you do?
Like,
I mean, that's nearly everyone's first
what do
question.
you do?
Yeah.
What do you do for work? Well, I'm not working.
Yeah.
I sold my company, and then I feel like a douche for being like, oh, I sold my company. It's just lots of...
It's fantastic.
Lots of... Yeah.
But what about having this sabbatical, in
Yes.
inverted commas, has been most surprising to you?
Probably the fact that I'm
Happy.
really enjoying it.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah, I am surprised at the fact that I haven't like found something to like consume.
I mean, it's been a minute.
It's been 9 months.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that
not
does
really
surprise
that
me
long.
though. It
Yeah.
does surprise me. I thought that I would get really, really itchy.
Yeah.
And there have been moments, where I have felt it. But I think because I have this diverse kind of portfolio of randomness that I'm just exploring, and it could be like a day I'll come up with something and I'll work on an idea for a day of like, oh, I could do this and I can do that. And like, what about, and then I'm like, wake up the next morning and I'm like, no,
Not for me.
next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been fun.
So is there someone that you look at now as like the picture of success?
No.
No.
It's funny because I sent you Susie Welsh. I love her values bridge test that I sent you. And in her book, one of her questions is, pick 3 people's lives that you look at and you admire and write down like, okay, why would you want to be living their life? And I was like, there's definitely elements from different people.
Yeah, but not as a whole.
But I can't look at
I'm the same,
I can't look at one person and be like, oh, I love
that whole package.
No. Because I'm like, well, I want a bit of that and I want a bit of that from that person and a bit of that. And I'm like, oh, actually, that's like the life that I'm building.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of that at the same time and go, my life is, I think, the best life I know.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Well, it also means that you're in congruence with what's important.
Yeah. I'm trying to think when we did that values survey thing, there was like a couple things that were in conflict and I can't remember what it was now. Oh, my work-centric was
low.
Much lower than the work output that I put.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I looked at that and I was like, oh, we need to switch.
Yeah.
Because mine was second.
Yeah.
And yours was like...
We had the same first one that I can't remember what it was.
Well, I had
now.
agency. Did you have agent? No, didn't you have...
Abundance, I think.
Affluence.
Affluence, yes.
Yeah, so my affluence was, I think,
affluence,
4th.
No, mine wasn't work. And then it was agency.
Yes.
And then something starting with E.
Eudaimonia.
Yeah.
Which is the pleasure kind of experience one. So
that tracks.
That tracks. And I had that high as well. I think that was my 3rd. And so it was like the agency, work, eudaimonia, and then affluence.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to do. I'll put it in the show notes because it is an interesting
values
one.
bridges.
Yeah, it's really good.
Becoming you.
Yeah. If you had to write a love letter to yourself now at the start of your entrepreneurial journey, what would you say that you would want your future self to know?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like, you'll be okay.
Yeah, right?
You'll be okay.
How much angst did we spend worrying that it's not going to be okay?
Yeah. And that we're going to just not function, like not be well, not have money, not have love. I mean, I was stressed about all of those things.
Now you've got it all.
In this point of my life, I feel very grateful to have a good spread of things that bring me a lot of joy.
Yeah. That question we've already answered. I was like, what's a belief you held so tightly now that you're an old man in your 40s and retired that you've completely let go of? Which I do think, actually, no, yeah. Is there something that, like, besides the hustle and besides that you
so that's
have to perform all the time, is there something that, like, you used to believe was true that now you're like, I just don't care about that like I used to?
I definitely thought that early on that money would change my life a lot more drastically than it has. Of that, you know, when I get this, then I'll be
It's another
free,
thing, like the hustle
happy.
thing is you can say money doesn't buy happiness when you've got money.
I mean, money buys happiness.
Yeah.
When people say
This
that.
is why we're best friends.
When people say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, I'm like,
Have you been broke?
yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, money has given me a lot of happy moments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even, you know, I was texting you, I think it was about a week ago, and I asked you the question, because these are sort of questions that we ask each other. I was sitting in the sauna and I was going, gosh, this sauna, I think, like, I thought about getting a sauna for years.
Yeah.
And every time I looked at it, I'd look at the cost of it and go, oh, I can't bring myself to do that. Are we going to use it? I don't know. I get in the sauna nearly every day, and I love it. And I was laying there going, I love this experience so much. Like, this is one of the best things I've ever bought. And then I kind of went on this thing and going, what are, like, the best 5 things that I've ever spent my money on that I'm really happy about? And then I asked you the same question. And they were very different things to what I thought it would have been. Like, if you asked me 20 years ago, what are the top 5 things you could ever spend your money on? I would have said a super yacht.
Yes, you would have.
Is what I would have said for one of them.
House in Palm Springs.
A house in Palm Springs, yes, all of those sort of things. But the things that are all the best things I've spent my money on, they are very much, they've bought my happiness. They've enriched my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Money is so helpful.
Yes.
And there's this, you know, everyone throws around the study, it's years old now. It's like, if you make over $70,000 like a year, it doesn't really change your happiness. I'm like, no, it does.
Yeah. I would agree.
I mean, around where you live, around health, around transportation, around experiences.
Yeah.
There is, you know, if I was flying in the back row, again, first world problems, but in the back row of economy versus first class, my happiness is very different.
Yes.
Money has made me happier.
Yes.
In that situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does make it makes a difference. Yeah. Does it make, is there a point?
If you're a miserable bastard, it's not going to make you happy. But if you've already got a good baseline of happy, I think it enriches a lot.
Yes, I think it enriches a lot. And I think if you're working on yourself to, you know, release trauma, to kind of, you know, work on your nervous, you know, these things that can kind of get you in a better place, kind of mentally. Yeah, I mean, money is an amplifier. And
you've worked a lot on your health in the last year.
Yeah, well, the last couple of years, really, because I got sick like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Because, I mean, everyone listening to this is entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Everyone's going to have some nervous system issues going on.
Yes.
What do you think, what have you learned as one of the best nervous system repair things? Like, what have you done that you think has made the biggest difference besides saunaing and drinking a lot of water?
Besides saunaing and drinking a lot of water. It's really been rest.
Yeah.
Like,
which is so hard to say to someone who's in the hustle stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's been really helpful for me is, and I know that, like, if I get even excited about an idea, or if I'm like putting the hustle like back into something, like I'll start twitching again. Like my body will
not let you do it anymore.
My body is incredibly sensitive.
Yeah.
And so it would just be like, not today. And I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to rest.
But you don't wear any like bio...
No, I hate all of that. Yeah. I'm too neurotic.
Yeah, because I tried to get you to sleep on the 8 sleep.
I did, and I sent it back.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated the score. I hated the machine. I hated the whole thing. Yeah. Sorry, 8 sleep.
I mean, I do stress out sometimes. Like my HRV is so much worse than Matt's every day. And I'm like, how can't I like game this system? I stopped drinking, I stopped coffee, I started meditating, I do my daily sauna. I'm like, what else can I do to get this
Probably
score
just
up?
like not be thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah, right.
You know, and that's what, and I remember a doctor said to me, he was like, you shouldn't do any wearables. Like you're too crazy for any of this.
Yeah.
Like you'll make
obsessive.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly obsessive. I have a very addictive personality around anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, no,
Yeah,
don't. It's not. It'll create more challenges in your health if.
But
you do all of
interestingly,
this.
you have a really good relationship with social media.
For the same reason.
Yeah. But I have to put Opal on my phone in order to not use it all the time, like an app blocker. But you're pretty, like you were without social media.
For nearly 5 months.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was so heaven. The hard thing though is the only reason now I keep Facebook is because that's where I find out like who's touring.
Yeah.
So like, because I follow Live Nation and stuff, and so straight away, like that just, they always come up first in my feed.
Quick.
So I'm like, you know, Oprah's coming. Oh my goodness, you know, like it's like
gosh,
my
I can't believe
favorite.
we're going to Oprah.
I'm so excited. We're going to Oprah. But like literally the first things that come up on my Facebook feed are like concerts and shows.
Essentials, just the essentials.
Yeah, because everything else is the people that I love, I talk to, I connect with.
Yeah.
I find out about their life.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice when you were traveling. That's why, you know, I stayed on Instagram because I wanted to follow your travels. But my ideal life is like no social media.
Yeah. It's much better for us. Okay, my final question for you. When you think about legacy, not as a business term, but as a soul, what do you hope people will remember you for?
I don't think a lot about legacy. No. And the reason is because I think, this might be quite morbid, but I think, you know, I'll be dead and then people will move on with their life.
Do you think it makes a difference because you don't have children?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
like you want to hear something super crazy.
Yeah.
So I've been building Delphi AI, like my
Oh,
clone.
right. Yes, yes.
And so I've been populating it with all the business stuff. So
Yeah.
like everything I've ever done is in there so it can answer any business question. But then I am also morbid in terms of I always worry about my family if I'm gone because my husband is wonderful, but he would not have any clue, like the admin of our life,
Right.
how to
right.
operate everything, he'd be at a loss. And so then I was thinking, well, maybe I build a personal one.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was thinking, what about, because I was talking to the boys the other night and we were laying on the bed and they were just like asking me questions and I was giving them advice. I'm like, I'm so lucky that my sons at the age they are still want to ask me different things and then want to know what I think about it. And then I was thinking the next day when I was building, I was like, I should start putting all my answers in there so my great-great-granddaughter can ask me a question and it's got like Grandma Tina's answers to everything.
I mean, that is pretty insane. I love the idea of that though.
I haven't said that out loud to anybody.
I mean, I love that. I mean, where, you know, at the moment, you know, Alex lost his mum a few years ago. You know, his dad has been unwell for a while. And so we're thinking, you know, my mum got cancer a few years ago. My nan passed away in her 60s from cancer. You know, we have a certain amount of time. And so we are thinking about, well, Alex is definitely thinking about, like, how do I capture stories and wisdom and insights, you know, from my dad.
His Delphi.
So I think that's a really interesting idea. And so yes, going back, I think probably because I don't have children, I'm not thinking about legacy, but I'm also not living. I'm living my life for like the now of like I want to like have a really good time here.
I think you've got so much legacy though. In so many different ways.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
different people.
Yes, I think there's definitely been, you know, I definitely have had impact on people.
I had someone like, I can't remember her surname. It was Amanda yesterday when I shared the Instagram story that I was doing the interview with you. And she was like, Clint's changed my life. And you would get that so many times with different people. Give Clint a hug for me. He's changed my life.
Yeah, and I love that, but I don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure on like.
You just want to live well.
I want to live well
Yeah.
and be able to have a great time while I'm here.
Yeah. Let's all try and do more of that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clint.
Thanks, Tina.
The crowd goes wild.
Thanks, Matt.